Good evening. It is exactly 7 p.m. here in Minneapolis and Minnesota. We are excited to do, I don't know what of our annual live webcast this is, I believe our seventh or eighth. So thank you for joining us. And again, just an official welcome to the JROB Camps live webcast. So you might hear some interesting mistakes that we invariably make every year, but bear with us and thanks for joining us. Tonight, really, our goal is to give you an opportunity to hear why JROB Camps we feel are the best summer training camp option to impact a wrestler's physical and mental toughness. My name is Sue Rubens, and I'm part of the camp leadership team, and I've been with the camp for, over 15 years now. Tonight, it's pretty amazing. We've got over 350 people live on this webcast. It's a mix of wrestling parents, athletes, and coaches joining this live webcast. And it's really our sincere hope that after hearing firsthand from our camp leadership team, that so many of the questions that a lot of you have about our wrestling camps will be answered. Tonight's webcast is designed to help parents, coaches, and wrestlers learn more about our camps. And really what we feel is unique is to provide direct access to both Jay Robinson and Garret Garness for any specific questions you have regarding our wrestling camps. So tonight, what we're going to do here is I'm going to give you a little overview of what we're going to cover. And we're the #1 intensive camp in the country. And why is that? Well, Jay Robinson, he created the original intensive camp concept. Only our camps have the exceptionally high standards and training regimen set by 41 years of dedication to excellence. You are simply not going to find another camp that has been around as long as this camp has. Jay's commitment to excellence has built an unmatched camp model designed to significantly improve an athlete's physical and mental skills. JROB camps instill a foundation of hard work that will carry a wrestler through any challenge, both on and off the mat. But let's get to what we're going to cover tonight, because that's what we all want to know and what we're going to hear about. So tonight, the webcast is divided into 4 parts. Jay is going to talk about the history and training philosophy of the camps. And then we're going to transition over to Garret, and he is going to talk about what our camp options are, because we truly have a camp for every wrestler, whether it's our intensive or technique or competition. We're excited that we've got something for everyone. Next, we will go into our customer service, which we've got an amazing new customer service coordinator. Her name is Carson. Her dad actually went to camp here. Gosh, I don't know when, but he went to camp here. So we're excited. She's a true wrestling gal, and she can talk wrestling with the best of them. After that, what everyone's online here for, we are going to give away a free intensive camp credit. So that drawing will happen at the end of the broadcast. You do have to be present to win that credit. And then stick around for the tail end, because what we do then is really the most popular questions that we get online is Jay and Garret cover the questions live, and it's really interesting. You'll probably learn something that you might not be expecting to learn. So again, just so you know, there is a live online chat available throughout the entire webcast, and we've got 2 of our veteran staff here. They will answer any question you've got. So please submit your questions through the questions tab on your screen, and you can do that at any time during the webcast. They come in pretty fast and furious, so please be patient if your question doesn't get answered right away. And then again, please stay tuned for the end of the presentation, because then Jay and Garret will talk about some of the most popular questions at the end of the webcast. And again, what's also a great feature is this webcast is available on demand on our website. So if you know someone who missed it, they can catch it on our website at jrobscamps.com. And another reminder, we will announce the winner of the free intensive camp credit at the end of the webcast presentation. You must be present at the end of the webcast to win. Garret will make the announcement, and we will give you a couple minutes to respond, and then we'll announce the winner on the webcast. So that's how that's going to work. Okay, so again, moving on here, just to give you guys a little bit of history. It's really amazing the graduates who have come across the doors here. This camp has been in existence since 1978. We've had over 45,000 wrestlers that have come through the doors here of J. Robinson Camps, which is pretty amazing. Just a mix of state champions, NCAA champions, Olympians, and world medalists. And if you look at some stats here in 2018, former JROB campers won 138 state titles in 42 states and 461 medals in 45 states. And I'd encourage you to follow us on Instagram. Our marketing director does an awesome job of putting up the guys who have done well this year, and it's really great to see how well the campers are doing. It's really an amazing thrill for us to receive letters from our JROB alumni. Then they just tell us how much camp changed their lives. They've had some great careers in the military, Fortune 500 companies, and they're just some amazing careers. And if you'll see in the corner there a picture of a father and son, that's probably one of the most amazing things I've seen are these legacy fathers who are now sending their sons, who it really affirms the difference that the camp made in their lives, and they're passing that on to their kids. Just another note too, you'll see the guy in the red sweatshirt there. That is Tom Ryan. Tom is a two-time 28-day JROB camp graduate, and he's the current head coach at Ohio State University. We wanted to give Tom a special shout out because he has often talked about how much camp impacted him. His team placed second at last week's NCAA championship, and it was their third consecutive top 3 finish. I'd also encourage you to go on our website to check out more of Tom's camp experience under the 5 decades video feature. Moving on, just a little bit about Jay Robinson in case you're not familiar with Jay. Jay's camp philosophy is based on, he's got just a very unique background. And there really are no other camps like Jay Robinson Camps. Our format is based on founder Jay Robinson's life experience as an Army Airborne Ranger. He was also a 1972 Olympian, and he's got his businessman life experience of over 60 years involved in all kinds of crazy business schemes. And he's got over 40 years coaching wrestling experience at some of the highest levels. And Jay's dedication for guiding athletes really stems from his truly passionate principle that wrestling teaches life lessons both on the mat and off. And Jay truly believes that wrestlers, unlike no other athletes, have a special grit to excel and be in the top 10% of everything they do. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Jay Robinson. Please bear with me as the microphone transition often gets a little staticky, but again, let me introduce Jay Robinson.
Thank you, Sue. It's great having you all here and a chance to, especially at the end of here, to answer some of your questions. But to give you a little bit of the history of the camp, my roommate, a guy by the name of John Marks, when I was a coach at Iowa, came in one day and said we should train athletes the way we train them here, and thus began the intensive camp 41 years ago. And what it is in these 41 years is we've perfected a training model, and we continually upgrade it. In that, what we do is over the course of these years, some things have been very consistent in that I have always been there. The philosophy is unchanged. The workouts change. So continually every year we upgrade and we discard. The good things we keep. And so over 41 years, we found the things to move people to where they want to go as efficiently as possible. The training is based upon some of proven Army Ranger protocol, and what that means is that what we're trying to do is that when you're in a physical and mental place is to get them so they're working together. And so our mission is to change lives by focusing on the intensive and the physical and the mental training that will produce success in wrestling and life, right? And we do that by working with each one, because as they go through camp, depending on when they are in camp and what day it is, they're going to go through 4 different things mentally. The first, they'll probably be overwhelmed because of the amount of work that's going on. The second thing they'll do, and it depends upon what day it is, 28-day camp is a little bit different than the 14 or 10-day camp, but they still go through it. They'll start figuring out how they do it, how to put it together, and how it's working. The third thing they do is when they go through camp is they do what everybody does is they've figured it out, they know what's going on, and they start going through the motions. And at this time, there's a lot of things we try to attach to them, because it's the same thing during the wrestling season. As you get into the wrestling season, you're going through the motions, but you're not getting anything out of it. So there's a lot of lectures and things that we do to try and keep them motivated during that period, but we want them to know that they're there so that they can be aware of it and work on it. And then the last part is the celebration, is they can see the end of camp, whether it's on day 26 or on day 12, is that it's over in the benefit of what they've done. The training philosophy is it's a life-changing experience, because what they're done is they're put in a very concentrated environment, and it's very, very, very structured. And the whole object of what this structure is to require them to do more than they think they can do. And it's kind of like stretching a rubber band. Once you stretch it, it never comes back to the same situation. So what we want to do is we want them to expand what they believe they can do. The length of time is critical in teaching. There's a lot of intensive camps that people have around the country. They have 3 and they have 4. But the problem with those camps, and the thing that we found out over the course of this time, is that you have to have enough time to really give a chance to the mental and the physical skills that you want to anchor to them while they're at camp. So everything is done with certain skills in mind. And so it's through repetition that it goes very, very deep. And so we teach these skills that not only help them become better wrestlers, but become better wrestlers, but become better athletes. So one of the challenges is a very significant change is that we teach wrestlers how to go and put the mental and the physical together by dealing with it, by motivational talks every day. I'm there every day at camp. We work a system of where we work for 3 days on and 1 day off. And so every day we meet with them, we talk to them based upon where they are physically or mentally. We talk to them and give them skills to how they can go through and they can work with these situations better. We show them, right, that they can do things they didn't probably think they could do before they camp. And we do that by doing, is that we get them, all right, whether it's running, whether it's wrestling, whether it's hard drilling, all these things that we do continually to try and move them to a different part. And what it is there's a thing called stress inoculation training, right? It's something that's used in the military, and basically stress, people don't deal with stress very well. And that's the number one thing, is that people are put in stress environments. They don't do very well with the stress. The second thing that happens with stress is if you do it over and over and over again, you get better at it. You can deal with it better. And the third thing they've learned with stress inoculation is that if you are in a stress situation, you usually learn it better and it goes deeper inside of you. So everything at camp is to put some pressure on them in different situations to help them grow and to be better, learn how to identify it, learn how to adjust to it, and then come out the other side. So the life skills, besides the wrestling skills, the life skills, what we've done is we've put them in the context and we've named them what we call the J7. And these J7 things are discipline, dedication, sacrifice, hard work, responsibility, accountability, and service. These are skills that we have identified over the course of 41 years that they benefit them both wrestling wise and individually wise as life-changing skills. And we'll talk about the J7. In talking about them is that we've had 40 years to identify the skills that we think are important in wrestling. And in life. And the first 10 or 15 years, we talked a lot about the first of the J7 skills. We talked a lot about discipline, dedication, sacrifice, and hard work. We talked about those. We talked about them in lectures. Everybody talked about those 4 things. But the thing that we found is that as we talked about those first 4, 2 other things always came up when you talked about them. And the other 2 things that came up were responsibility, is that you're responsible for what you do, and accountability. So then we added those 2 skills to the J7, and then within the last 20 years, one of the things we found was service. And what we mean by that is 6 of the skills are about you, teaching you discipline, dedication, sacrifice, hard work, responsibility, and accountability. Those things are about you personally. But once you find those things, we talk about wrestlers about being warriors. And as warriors, you're responsible to help other people. And so we added the last one, which is service, is that 6 of the skills are about you and finding out about who you want to be. And then once you find out who you want to be, then you have an obligation, right? We believe, to help others, whether it be at school or whether it be in your church, whether it be in your family, wherever it is that it's important that we give back as wrestlers, okay, and as people. So those are very important things. Okay? Discipline is basically doing what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it. Dedication is you learn dedication, but you have to stay at camp the whole time and do everything in order to make it. Sacrifice, you learn in order to do these other things that you have to give up things. You have to, at camp, you might think about, you want to get on your phone, you want to get on your tablet, but you need rest, so you're going to go to bed. So you sacrifice things. Hard work, I basically tell the guys on the first day is that I have a definition of hard work and they have a definition of hard work, and our definitions aren't even close to being together. But when they leave in 10, 14, or 28 days, when I say we're going to work hard, they know we're going to work hard. Responsibility, you're responsible for what you do. Accountability in the end, whether it be in wrestling season or whether it be graduating for high school or life, is that you're accountable to it. And then once you learn those 6 skills, the 7th skill is service, is that our obligation is to help and take care of others. We address things as we go through. So those are what we call the J7. Those are our anchors of what we believe camp is about. And we go over those continually in different situations, always trying to drive them deep into the camper so that when they leave, they will be a part of it. The next part is I'm going to introduce Managing Director Garret Garness, who's been with us for 3 years. He went to University of Ohio. He's state champion, and he does a great job. So here's Garret.
All right. Thank you, Jay. So I'm going to go into here just a little bit about what makes us unique as a company and as a camp. Really, just to start off, I mean, I think 40 years of experience, going on 41 years now. I think that shows that we have a proven success record. And every year, like Jay said earlier, every year we're always looking to improve. And I think that goes with life too. Everything that you do, you could win a state title, but that doesn't mean that you don't have things that you can work on. And we do the same thing with camp every year. We're always looking for ways to improve both our wrestlers that we train, and then also just prove techniques at camp and things like that. So, every year, the main thing that I really think sets us apart is the fact that we're teaching life skills along with the wrestling skills. We use, Jay just got done talking about the J7. Everything that we do revolves around those 7 words. And those are just the words that we've identified that we believe are important in both the sport of wrestling and outside the sport of wrestling as well. Wrestling is such a tight-knit community, and everyone always says that wrestling has taught them so much, not just about the sport, but also in life. And we believe it's because of those 7 words. So that's what I believe truly makes us unique as a camp. Why should you put your trust in us as a camp? First off, right off the bat, we have a camper to staff ratio of at least 10 to 1. More specifically at our intensive camps, we try to make it more around 8 to 1 because we want to make sure that our campers are getting the individualized attention that they need. And that's really important to us. So we get staff from really all over the country, and it's a great opportunity to be to work with a lot of different college wrestlers and coaches that have different wrestling styles. So on top of that, safety is our top priority. So just a few things that we do safety wise. We have daily weigh-ins at the intensive camps to make sure that campers aren't losing too much weight. That's more of a hydration reason than anything else. We want to make sure that they're not losing too much water weight. We also do skin checks on a daily basis to make sure we're not spreading around any skin diseases, things like that. No one really likes to talk about it, but unfortunately, those are skin diseases are sometimes part of the sport. But we try to stop that as much as possible. We're washing the mats all the time after every single session. So we try to stay on top of that. We also we hire our own certified athletic trainers. They're there at all of the intensive camp sessions, as well as the competition camps. Basically any camp where they're doing a lot of live wrestling, we have our own hired athletic trainers to help prevent injuries as well as take care of any unfortunate injuries that do occur at camp. We also take roll call before every single session to make sure that every camper is accounted for and to make sure that they're where they're supposed to be. For parents, we also have a daily person on duty, what we call staff duty. There's a phone number that you can call if any emergencies come up or you can't get a hold of your son or daughter. You can call that phone number. We're around the campers all the time. That is a 24-hour phone number, so you can call that person and get a hold of your child in any emergency situations. We also have a full-time customer service staff. Sue mentioned earlier, we have a new customer service coordinator named Carson. She does a great job for us. And really, we're here every day of the week, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 Central Time. Give us a call. We're here to help. You can always email us, and we'll have a 24-hour response time. If for some reason we don't get back to you within 24 hours, give us a call again. I mean, that happens very, very, very rarely. So definitely get in touch with us with any of your questions. That's what we're here for. Another thing that makes us fairly unique compared to other camps is we do have payment plans that you can get on. Basically, we'll talk about this more in depth later on towards the end of the webcast, but basically you can go online and create your own payment plan. All that's due right off the bat at registration is your deposit. We also have several discount opportunities that you can take advantage of. I highly recommend going onto our website. Again, that's jrobinsoncamps.com. On the tab on the top, find the camp that you're looking for and click on the discount opportunities there. And no matter what you're looking for in the camp, whether it be you want to get better technically, you need more mat time in live situations, or you're just looking for a tough camp that's going to get you better in every way, we truly believe we have every camp for you. So that's what we're going to go into right now. So starting off the technique camps, just going through the basics. We'll go into more detail here in a few slides, but technique camps are meant for wrestlers aged 8 to 18 years old. They're 5 days long. There's 3 sessions per day, so which equates to about 5 hours of on the mat time per day. They also get a workbook that the campers are going to go through, which again is just one extra thing that we're always looking to do to make ourselves better and better every year. A lot of people ask us, what are the moves that you teach, or what's your philosophy around the technical skill? We teach the fundamentals to start with, because at the end of the day, fundamentals are what wins wrestling matches. And so we're always going over fundamentals, but we do get into more advanced skills, more advanced moves, because those fine details are what ultimately separate wrestlers. So that's the gist of technique camp. Again, 5 days, you're on the mat 3 sessions a day. anywhere between an hour and a half to 2 hours at a time. Competition camps are a little bit different. Those are for ages 12 to 18 years old. Actually, more specifically, it's for people going into 7th grade on up. Again, it's a 5-day camp, and you can actually combine the competition camp with a technique camp to make a combo camp. But at the competition camp specifically, you are put into a bracket on the very first day of camp, and you wrestle guaranteed 8 full-length matches, and you'll have individualized attention with our coaches, being coached during your match. They'll also go over things you did well, things you need to improve on, and those sorts of things. So we also have 2 daily technique sessions, and we give lessons on what we call the principles of competition. And again, we'll go into that a little bit later in more detail. The intensive camps are really what we're known for. It says it right in our name of our company, J. Robinson Intensive Camps. Those are for ages 14 to 18 years old. 13-year-olds are considered on a case-by-case basis, but you would have to call in and speak with me just to make sure that we have the same expectations and those kinds of things. The intensive camps are either 10, 14, or 28 days. They're going to be on the mat anywhere between 4 to 5 hours a day, but they also have 4 sessions per day where they get up at 6:30 in the morning and they're doing a run or lift, and then they'll come back, they'll do a technique session, then they'll do a hard session after lunch where it's a lot of hard drilling, live wrestling, and conditioning, and then they'll come back and do a technique review at night along with another run or lift. Again, we'll go into more detail on that later on. So going into the specifics of the technique camp, I already mentioned it's a 5-day camp. We're really focused on the fundamentals, and then we also bring in some guest clinicians and headliners that go into more advanced techniques. Because like I said, those small details and those advanced techniques, those really are what separates wrestlers, even though the basics certainly win the matches. So some of the basics that we cover are stance, positioning, takedowns, escapes, all those sorts of things. And the more advanced, detailed techniques are setups. We go over different finishes. And we also teach you how to drill. I think that's something that's really important that a lot of camps don't teach. They'll teach the moves, but they don't teach how to drill and how to drill properly and how to drill hard. So again, we have 3 on the mat sessions per day. They're roughly 2 hours apiece. And that's every single day. We do split up the wrestlers into small group settings based on their skill level, their age, and their weight. So that way we're not teaching the same thing to 8-year-olds as we are to a senior in high school that's had several years of wrestling experience and might be on a different level than someone that's still in grade school or elementary school. We do have daily seminars, daily sessions on goal setting, weight training, leadership, and a variety of other things. We think it's important that we have sessions like that talk about goal setting, that talk about developing a personal philosophy, how to deal with adversity, because at the end of the day, you can know as many techniques as a world champion, but if you don't have those goals or you don't have that personal philosophy for yourself, or you don't know how to eat right and take care of your nutrition or your academics, then you might not get anywhere. So we want to make sure that we're really focusing on not just the wrestling part, but also the stuff off the mat that's going to help you get to where you want to be. So on this next slide here, you'll see our technique camp schedule. One thing I just want to point out here, during the Washington Technique Camp, which is July 28th to August 1st, that is a Saturday to a Wednesday. All of the other camps, Georgia, Kansas, Wisconsin, and California, those camps are Sunday to Thursday. So again, you can look at where all those camps are. These are all on our website as well. But again, I just really want to stress, because it is new this year, we made the Washington camp a Saturday to a Wednesday. So if you see that on our website, it's not a typo. that is the way that one is. And also at these technique camps, you can be a commuter as well. So if you live close to a location of one of these 5-day technique camps, keep in mind the commuter rate is lower, and you would receive lunch and dinner, but you would not receive breakfast. But again, if you have questions specifically regarding the commuting option, give us a call or go on our website, and we'd be glad to help you out. Moving on here, we'll go to our competition camps. Basically, these camps are designed to improve your skills as a competitor. So both, we have two daily technique sessions. We also have post-match one-on-one feedback from our coaches. So you really get that individualized attention, which we believe is super, super important. You're not just going to come to this camp and be a number. We want to have that interaction with you, and we believe that's how you get to be a better wrestler. So we really spend the time to make sure that you're getting every single match that we promise in those 8 matches. You're in a bracket, so if you win the bracket, you become a JROB competition camp champion, and it's a pretty cool opportunity to be a part of. On top of the daily technique sessions, we also have competitions off the mat as well. So it could be, competition camp has sessions like team races on who can flip a tire the farthest, or in the shortest amount of time, or who can do the most pull-ups, those sorts of things. And it's really kind of builds in that team atmosphere, but in an individualized attention, if that makes sense. The 4 principles of competition that we believe that we've identified are preparation, performance, evaluation, and adjustments. A lot of times, a lot of wrestlers will just do the first 2. They'll prepare, they'll go to practice, they'll do what they're supposed to do, and then they go out and they perform in competitions. We take it a step further. We evaluate how you did in a match. We ask, why did you do well, or why did you do poorly, or what do you need to improve on? And this is a step that a lot of people miss. They might evaluate, but then they don't go back and make adjustments. One thing I've heard Jay Robinson say since the day I started working here is, if nothing changes, nothing changes. So if you feel like you need to work on your double leg more, then you need to make adjustments in your practice and ultimately to change your performance. So to make those adjustments, we go over how to do that at the competition camp. So at the bottom of your screen, you'll see our 3 locations for the competition camp. And again, reminder that you can combine these with a technique camp and get a reduced price as well. Again, all that's on our website at jrobinsoncamps.com. And so next we're going to go into the intensive camp fundamentals and really dive into the details of the intensive camp. And who better to talk about that than Jay Robinson, who's been there for 40 years doing it. So I'll hand it back to Jay Robinson.
Thank you, Garrett. Just going over the camp fundamentals for an intensive camp is that the technical training and the hard practices, we integrate the two, in that what we try to do is we go through, and everybody wants to know what we teach, and we teach fundamentals. But what we do and the way that we teach them is that they get it 3 times. And that what I'm saying about that is they're introduced to it in the morning practice. They get a review of it in the afternoon practice, and then they get a review of it again at night when we have a review session. So the technical training is there, but then at the same time, with hard wrestling in the afternoon, they get a chance to actually incorporate the new stuff, make some mistakes, so that when they come back at night and they do a different review the next day, that they have an idea of what they did right, what they did wrong, and they can do what Garrett talked about is adjusting. So there's a lot of drilling. There's a lot of live wrestling the time that they're there. Another thing that they do, that we do, is we have running. And it's interesting is what people talk about running, because a lot of people say, well, this isn't a cross-country camp, it's a wrestling camp. But running has a lot to do, more than most people think. And I think one of the campers on a camper review at the end of camp said what he learned about running is, without the beating your body up that it does in hard competition, is that what he said is, I learned that running didn't have so much to do with my legs as it did with my head. To go out and run hard is very important, because what you're trying to do is, over those 6 or 7 minutes in a wrestling match, is learn to push yourself. And that's what you can do, one of the things, by runs. So, and we have a lot of different runs. It's not just go out and run one day. There's all kinds of different runs during camp designed to get different things out of you at different times of camp. Athletic training and injury care, we have anywhere from 4 to 6 full-time trainers on staff all the time. They're there at the disposal. They'll tape the kids. They'll look at their injuries. If they need to be, they'll hold them out of practice if it's severe enough. If not, the whole part of what we try to do is get them back and return them. One of the things that they learn about injuries at camp is they learn the difference between a hurt and an injury. And with a hurt is that you can practice; with an injury, you can't. And they have to make those decisions. Not only do the trainers have to make it, but the campers themselves have to really decide whether, is this just a little ache or an owie I got, or is this something that I can't wrestle with? And so an injury is that, and the trainers are there to help them full time. The other thing is, because it's so hard, it's so demanding, is that weight monitoring is a very important thing. Is that they're going to be working out 4 times a day, and they can be losing anywhere from 4 to 8 pounds of water weight a day. So hydration is very important. And what we've done is that they weigh them in. We weigh the wrestlers in every day. If they lose a certain amount of weight, they're required to sit out until they can be rehydrated. So monitoring their weight is very important. The other one is skin checks. And everybody knows with wrestling is you're going to get scrapes and bruises, and there's all kinds of different things that you can get as a skin infection. And what we do is every day we check everybody in camp, make sure that we don't have anything so they don't pass it on. If they do, we set them out. We'll take them to wherever we need to do what we need. If we need to take them to see doctors, we can do that. But what we do is we treat weight monitoring and skin checks very important in camp, because they're a big part of it. The other thing we do is in developing a philosophy, and what we talk about in philosophy, everybody talks a lot about goal setting and what do you want to do in your life. But before you can decide what you want to do in your life, you have to decide who you are or who you want to be. So I go through a whole process with them while we're at camp of developing your philosophy. And what we do with that is, choice is a very important thing. So we try to get them to decide and who they want to be, and they get to choose who they want to be. And once they decide who they want to be, then we work with them on goal setting to take them through that whole process where they'll plan their life for the next 10 years with a whole goal setting thing that we have while at camp. While at camp, they're going to get daily seminars, right, with different talks from different coaches on all kinds of different things. Leadership, how to overcome adversity, how to work hard, mental toughness. I actually give them one on money management. These are things that I found out through life that I think it's important for them to be exposed to. And so we do a visualization drill to try and teach them how to use their mental capacities a little bit more. Every day they'll do visualization at night. We'll take them through that process. So we try to use these daily seminars to, as I said before, is that we're trying to anchor different skills on them. And at different points, they'll be at a different place. So we're going to try and anchor those skills and drive them deep into them. So the thing that we've found that when they leave camp, they'll acquire these skills and they'll use these skills for the rest of their lives. If you go on the intensive camp daily schedule is, if you look at it, wake up every day is at 6:30, then they have a run or weight training. Every other day they'll do weight training. We have a variety of different lifts, from heavy lifts to circuits to what we call PTAs, pain, torture, and agony a little bit. And the object is learn how to push yourself in those hard times. So we either have running or weight training, then they're off, they have breakfast. Usually they go back, get a little bit of sleep, lay down. We have a technique session, usually in the morning. Sometimes that changes. We can change it with a hard practice depending upon where they are. They have lunch. They have some free time in the afternoon. Most of it's spent in bed sleeping, getting ready for the next practice. Hard practice goes from 3 to 5. And in that, there's hard drilling. There's a review session in there too of what technique they've been over either that day or the day before. So they get it again. Then they're done, go to dinner. Then they come back in the evening, and then every evening we have a mental training session. That's where we do visualization, to where they get out and we teach them this whole process. The whole object is to teach them how they can use their mind more efficiently. And then from there we have some motivation, and in that motivational training we have different kids, counselors that come from all kinds of different backgrounds, and state champions and all Americans. And what we do is we have them come in and talk to the kids for about 20 minutes, and based upon tell them how they got into wrestling, what motivated them to stay in wrestling, okay, what helped them turn the corner or get good. And the object is, we all have different stories, and the object is to get the kids where we want them to go. And so a lot of the counselors come in over that time. And then at 8 o'clock, we have another review session or running session, depending upon if they've run or they had weight training in the morning. They're done at about anywhere from 9:30 to 9:45. Back to the dorm, lights out at 11 o'clock. So, excuse me. So that's an average daily camper. It's pretty much the same. It's a little bit different on Sundays because there's time for campers to go to church. But it's pretty much the same schedule day in and day out, right? And it's one of those things I talked about before about driving these lessons that we want deep within inside of them. The next thing is a legendary I Did It shirt. What is an I Did It shirt? And an I Did It shirt is a sign of graduation. Everybody that comes to camp graduates. It's pretty much taken exactly from Army Ranger School, that if you're there at the end, you graduate, but you can either graduate or you graduate with a tab, what's called a Ranger tab. And so we decided to do this when we started the camp 40 years ago, and it's just a statement of achievement. It means that I went to camp, I did everything that I was required, I earned enough points in order to get this achievement statement. So that's what it is. It's been around for 40 years. The way that you earn it is everybody starts out the exact same. Everybody starts out using the 28-day camp. Everybody starts out with 1,000 points. You have to have 700 points to graduate. And you're graded every day on everything you do. And you're not graded on your ability, you're graded on your effort. So when you go run, you're graded on how hard you run. If you do weight training, you're graded on how hard you lift weights. All right. When you get into hard wrestling, it's the same thing, how hard you worked at practice. So you're continually being evaluated by the staff. What they do is they give out what's called positives and negatives. Positives go to a couple of kids in each group that work the hardest. It's subjective. Coaches decide. And then you can get a negative. That means that if they think you can work harder, and the object is for you to learn that you can work harder. And the staff, if they give out a negative, then they have to tell the athlete or the camper why they got it. And the whole object is so that they can adapt, they can learn, they can understand what they need to do better, and they can come back the next day and work out. And those shirts are given at the very, very last day after the very, very last run. So when they come to camp, in the camp store, there'll be a display that'll show one of those shirts from every year. The intensive camp schedule, if you look at it, there's 4 camps. There's a 10-day, 14, 214, and a 28-day. People ask a lot of times, why the duration of the camp? The original camp started as a 28-day camp. After a couple years, we changed it and went to 14 days, and then we went to 10 days. The reason why we have a 10-day camp, we found that that's the least amount of time we can get accomplish what we need to get accomplished with the young campers, in that they come in on a Thursday. Things are very, very difficult. They have to get to Sunday before they see that the end's in sight. So a lot of people have tried to duplicate it, and they have 4-day camps, 5-day camps, 6-day camps. But the philosophy that we have behind it is that's the least amount of time that we've found that we can imprint what we need to imprint on it. And so they're spread around the country. The object was we wanted to try and expose it to as many people as we can. So we've gone all over the country, and the basic schedule has been the same way for 40 years, in that we first had the 28-day intensive camp in Iowa in the month of July, and then we put everything else around it. So we go to Iowa for 10 days. Then the staff stays together. The object of the whole staff, and I don't know if Garrett's talked a lot about that, but we try to keep the staff together for the whole summer. And the reason for that is continuity, is that we don't want people jumping in. There's new people that come at different times, but the majority of the staff stays together. We travel together. So we go to Iowa. From Iowa, we go to Pennsylvania for 14 days, come back for 28 days in Wisconsin, then go to Oregon. So that's the intensive camp schedule. It hasn't changed very much in, I think it's about 38 years. And from here, we'll go to Garret. And if he's going to talk to you a little bit about sign-up information.
Before we move on here, I just want to give a quick little reminder. Keep sending in those questions. We've gotten a lot of questions so far, and I think we've done a fairly decent job responding to them. If we've missed a couple, it's because we're coming back to them at the end. We found a couple of common questions that we've gotten, so we want to address those at the end. So just bear with us as we get to those questions at the end. So anyway, so how to sign up online. So that's all done. All of our registrations are done through our website, which is jrobinsoncamps.com. So that's just the letter J, robinsoncamps.com. Find the tab that says camps, find the camp that you're interested in, click on that, and then that will take you to the registration page, and you can continue and follow those directions to continue. Payment options. So basically the only amount that is due immediately when you register is the what we call the deposit. So it's different depending on what camp you're registering for. If you're registering for the 28-day camp, it's more than if you're registering just for a 5-day camp. So that deposit is on there. And also one thing I want to point out, when you come to the payments page on the very end, you will see an additional key deposit and key and laundry loop deposit. And what that will be is, depending on the camp, it's either $70 or $100, somewhere in that range, depending on what camp you're registering for. But you will get that money back as long as you turn your dorm key and your laundry loop in once you finish the camp. So if you see that, that's what that extra key and laundry loop deposit is. And also when you are, after you make the minimum deposit, you can certainly pay in full, but after you make the minimum deposit and you are registered, you're actually creating an account, and you will receive a confirmation number after you register, and you can use that number to get back into your account and log back in and make any additional payments. So once you've registered and you just have the deposit, you can go online if you wanted to make a $10 payment every single day. The only thing that we ask is that you do make the final payments 3 weeks before camp. We simply just do that for continuity, to be able to have all those registration or all those payments in beforehand, so we're not trying to collect money on day of check-in day. So again, I've already discussed deposits, but one other thing I want to mention is our cancellation protection insurance. This is new this year. So I'll let you guys read it as you're going through registration, but it's very spelled out. There's charts when you register that will describe what the cancellation protection is. Essentially, it's an additional $50 $50, and it's optional to do, but you can only pay it at the time of registration. You can't go back in at a later time and purchase the cancellation protection insurance. But please look at that. Go through that. It's spelled out in multiple different places when you register. You can also go online and go through our frequently asked questions and find that as well. It's fairly spelled out, and the only reason why I'm not going through it right now is because it's a little bit different for 5-day camps compared to intensive camps. So please look at that. That's very, very, very important. Another thing, when you're going through registration, you'll see that there are some options to purchase some shirts and shorts and other apparel and merchandise. And the reason why that is because we require at all the camps, whether it be a 5-day or an intensive camp, all campers must have their last names on the back of their shirt. And so we give the option to purchase these shirts through registration. That way you don't have to worry about writing on the back of your shirts or anything like that. It's just an easy option that a lot of parents and wrestlers take advantage of, because we will have those shirts ready for you at check-in day at camp, so you don't even have to worry about packing them. So we will make sure to get that if you decide to purchase those on registration. Again, that is completely optional. With shorts, we do also require to have pocketless shorts. That's for the safety of the wrestlers. You would never want fingers to get caught in shorts or anything like that, and break a finger or strain a finger just because your hand got caught in someone's shorts. So that's an option on there as well. Also, when you're registering, you will see an option for flight and travel and our shuttle. You do not need to have a flight purchased when you register. You can, again, log back into your account and update your flight information. But if you do need a shuttle from the airport to camp, make sure you check the shuttle option. And again, for each camp, it is a little bit different on what times our shuttles run. So please look at your confirmation materials. It'll tell you exactly what time your flight needs to land at the airport. And it will also tell you what airport to use. But please make sure you update us with the flight information, because without that information, we obviously don't know when your son or daughter is landing. So please make sure to get us your flight information. We also request that 3 weeks before camp. There's multiple different ways to get in touch with us while your son's at camp. We have multiple phone numbers. Again, please look at your confirmation packet. Our office number is not a mobile number, it's a landline. So when you're calling our office, you'll get our customer service coordinator in the office, and then she would have to refer you to another phone number to get a hold of your wrestler at camp. So there's multiple different numbers in there. In your confirmation packet, there's a number for the trainers if there happens to be an injury. There's a number for our staff duty person in case of an emergency. There's also a phone number for our camp store. So if you need to add money onto your son or daughter's account to purchase things in our camp store, all that can be done through that camp store phone number. So all those phone numbers are in your confirmation packet. Almost every single question that you could possibly have is answered in that. So please, please, please look through that. There's also medical forms in there that need to be sent back to us. So that is your number one piece of information that will get emailed to you based on the email that you use at registration. So I can't stress that enough. Please look through your confirmation packets. So next, we'll go to customer service. So we do have a customer service manager on site here all the time. I am here at our office in Minneapolis as well. So our phone number is listed on there. Please call us with any questions whatsoever. I think I already mentioned it, but we do have a 24-hour response time to all of our inquiries, whether it be through email or through phone calls. If we happen to be on the other line and aren't able to answer, we will call you back as soon as we get the opportunity to. Also, another common place many people use to get their questions answered is what we call our knowledge-based search function. It's on our website in the upper right-hand corner. If you click on contact on our website, it will then come to another page, and you will see a link that says knowledge-based search function. on that, you click on that and you basically search your question or just type a few keywords. So if you were to search cancellation or another term, all the answers would come up that have that word in it. So please use that. That's a great tool for people to use. It's a super easy process to register. Again, just go onto our website, jrobinsoncamps.com, and it's very easy to use. And if you, for some reason, are having trouble, please give us a call. That's what we're here for. We're here to help. We also give out ongoing communication through emails. So whatever emails you use to register, all of our pre-camp information will get sent to that email. So please check your emails. Try not to use a junk email that you just send random emails to. Please use a good email that we can contact you with, because there are some pretty important things that get sent to that. One other thing I'll just add on our customer service page, we are hiring a new director of wrestling, which was my previous role. His name is JROB Camps. He was a staff guy with us for several years, and we're excited to have him starting here in April, and I'm super excited to have him on board. So oftentimes when you call and if you need to speak with him, he'll be here as well starting in April. So now moving on, so I just want to make one quick clarification on the free intensive camp drawing. This is for a 10-day Iowa camp, and for some reason, if you can't make it to the 10-day Iowa camp, or you are hoping to go to another camp, that money can be transferred to, let's say if you want to go to the 28-day camp, you can transfer that money to the 28-day camp, but it is only for the amount of the Iowa 10-day camp. So without further ado, the winner of the free Iowa 10-day camp is Blake Subert, or Blake Siebert. I hope I'm saying that last name correctly. But you'll have 2 minutes here to tell it, or to search in the questions tab on there. Just message us, let us know that you're here and that you're still listening, and we will make sure to stay in contact with you here, and we'll give further instruction on how to claim that. So Blake, you have 2 minutes here, and Blake has just confirmed that he's here. So awesome job, Blake. Congratulations. And he's coming to Oregon, so we're excited to have you too, buddy. Awesome. So while we wait here, we've got a couple questions that we want to dive further into regarding, we got one more slide here. So thanks for watching our webcast. If you register before Monday at 11:59 p.m. Central Time, you can receive a discounted camp. So if you were hoping to win that free camp, but still want to register, hopefully you do after listening to this, you can still receive a discount if you register before Monday, March 26th. If you look on your screen there, you'll see for the Iowa camp, it's $25. For a 14-day camp, it's $40 off. For the 28-day camp, it's $80. 5-day camp is $15. And if you want to do the combo camp, which is the technique and competition camp together, it's $25 off. So again, the way our discounts work is you can't combine this discount with any other discounts, but we will make sure that whatever discounts you qualify for, you will get the biggest one. So when you register, we will type that promo code into the very last page on the payment page. Type that code in, and it should automatically update. And for whatever reason, if it doesn't, just give us a call. Let us know you watched the webcast, and we'll help you out. All right, so now we can go into question Q&A, and we've got a couple questions here, and I think we kind of missed it. But one of the questions is about laundry. So we will do your laundry for you. You will receive a laundry loop. That's part of the deposits that I was discussing earlier. You get a loop, and you can only put your workout clothes on it. So we won't do your laundry for personal casual clothing, but we will do your laundry for your workout clothes. You must have a clean pair of clothes for every single workout session. We will not let you work out if we can tell you have not washed your clothes. That is not good hygiene, and we definitely don't want to be spreading skin diseases to other people. So we will do your laundry. And anything else, if you want to do your own laundry, there are laundry facilities available, but you will have to pay for them. They are either coin or card operated. Again, that's in your confirmation materials, whether the other laundry facilities are coin or card operated. So be sure to look at those. But yeah, that's what we'll do for your laundry. One other question before I hand it off to Jay is, do we have to do the long run? What pace should I shoot for? So on the very last day, we do what we call the final run or a marathon. You have the choice of choosing the 9, 12, or if you're at the 28-day camp, a 15-mile run. And everyone, in order to graduate with the I Did It shirt, you must run that final run. So you have the choice of choosing 9, 12, or 15 miles. And whatever you choose, it's basically run it as hard as you can. And that's the whole purpose of making it your choice. Is there a pace that you should shoot for? I would tell you, run as hard as you can. It's posted on our daily schedule what you should try to shoot for. But again, if you can run it at a 10-minute mile, run it at a 10-minute mile. If you can run it at 12, run it at 12. If you can run it at, even if it's 15, then run it at 15. Run it as hard as you can, and you'll do just fine.
Thanks, Garrett. A couple of things just to go over is that one of the things that Garrett mentioned is having shirt and your name on the back of the shirt. One of the things that we should say is that everything that happens at the camp, and the campers that come there will hear this 100 times, but it's like everything is done for a reason. There's a reason why we have a laundry service. There's a reason why we take roll. There's a reason why we have a name on the back of the shirt. And the reason they have to have the name on the back of the shirt is what we want to do is get to know them as quickly and as closely as we can. And by having a name on the back of their shirt, it helps our staff recognize and put face to name, which makes the camp a whole lot more intimate. So there's a reason why we want the name on the back of their shirt, and they have to have enough shirts to get through camp. So they have a laundry service. We have a laundry service for a small fee, or they can do it themselves. The choice is there, but they're going to be going through a lot of gear because they're going to be working out 4 times a day. So we suggest they bring anywhere from 8 to 12 pairs of workout stuff. Another question was, is there any fun at camp? Fun is kind of a relative term at camp. Is that when you're at something that's very hard, it's an interesting thing is that you find fun in a lot of different ways while you're at camp. And so if you're at the 28-day camp, the 28-day camp is a little bit different. Is we take everybody one day, we go to Valley Fair. And that's in the afternoon, go in the afternoon till about 10 o'clock at night. Then they come back. The other camps, they're a little bit different on Sunday, but the object is to focus on a work ethic. And within that is for people to learn how to look for the word that I would say instead of fun is enjoyment. Okay, while they're there in hard situations. So those things are very important. As far as safety goes, what we do is at every practice, so 4 times a day, we're taking roll call every day, and they have to be on time every day. They have to be there at 6:45 in the morning. They have to be there at around 10 o'clock for the technique session, 3 in the afternoon, and at night. So we monitor where they are 4 times a day, and we monitor them as there's a bed check every night. So there's time for them. They can walk off campus. Most of the time, camp is so strenuous is that what they're doing between sessions is going back and they're resting. That's one of those things we talked about a little bit about sacrifice. They're going to give up kind of running around because they have to focus on getting ready for practice. So for the most part, we don't have a problem keeping track of them because we have a pretty good idea where they are every 2 or 3 hours. And so here again, this is another reason is that this is the way that we keep them. We keep them directed in where we're going. So, and that's part of their graduation is to be at each practice and be on time. So it's a pretty definitive thing. It's another reason why we don't have commuters at the intensive camp is because it's so structured and they have to be on time four times a day. So if they're at the intensive camp, hypothetically the 28-day camp, they have to be on time, right? Over 100 times if you include bed check. So 5 times a day, we're checking on where they are. The other thing is we want them to learn how to regulate their own time, what they can do. Okay, if they might have time and they feel good, they might at a place where they can go downtown, they might go downtown for half an hour, get something at a store and come back and rest. So a lot of it has to do with them learning how to manage their own time.
So we got one more question. Someone was asking about weight loss, and I'm assuming they're referring to our weight loss policy at camp. I think this is a super important question, and I'm glad it was asked, and I apologize for skipping over it. But when you come to camp, you will weigh in the very first day of camp as you check in. That weight that you weigh is going to be your what we call your baseline weight throughout the entirety of the camp. And you are not allowed to lose more than 1.5% of your body weight while at camp. So please, if you're coming with your parents, and try not to go out and have a huge lunch before you come and check in, because whatever that weight is, we will use that as your baseline weight. And if you drop more than 1.5% of your body weight, we must hold you out for 2 sessions. And there are no exceptions to that. It is one of those things that it is for the safety of the wrestler. And yes, we understand that you're there to wrestle. And trust me, we want you out there wrestling every single session, but your safety comes first. And if you are losing more than 1.5% of your body weight in a day, more than likely that is from water weight. And we do not want you to become dehydrated. A lot of these camps, they're in the middle of summer. It's extremely hot and humid at a lot of our camps. We do not want you to be at risk for dehydration, and so that's super, super important for us. And yes, we are very serious, and we don't really go away from that. That is a super important thing for us. So one person says, I've attended 2 intensive camps. What do you suggest next? Tech, competition, or continue with the intensive camps? Really what it comes down to is what you need to work on. The best thing I can say is every wrestler is different. And so I would say, give us a call. Give us a call, talk to me, talk to Jay, or whoever it is, and we will help you determine what it is that you need to work on, and get you to the right place. That's what we're here for. When a wrestler comes to our camp, again, you're not just a number. We don't want you to just come to camp and then never hear from you again. We send out constant emails asking, how's your summer been going, or how's your season been going? We want to hear from you guys. And if you guys have something for us, call us. Let us know how you're doing throughout the season. Let us know what you need to work on, and we will give our best advice to help you out. What I would also say is, if we can't help you if you don't ask. So if you don't ask, that's on you. You need to come and ask us. Ask Jay, shoot us an email, give us a call, whatever you feel comfortable with. Ask us, and we are here to help. So I think wrapping up here, I think there's still a few more questions out there, but we're about to wrap up. A few questions are pretty specific. I would say if we did not get to your question, please send us an email or give us a call, and we will do our best to answer those questions. So we're about to sign off here. We'll stay online just for a few more minutes as our typers type in the last few answers, and we'll be good to go. So Last thing I'll say is hope to see you guys at camp. Thank you.